Today in this tutorial I am going to explain Bean life cycle of Spring framework. Okay, so before jumping into the Spring Bean life cycle, let's understand what do you mean by what do you mean by life cycle? What do you mean by life cycle? Life cycle means from the life to death. Okay, that is the life cycle of any human. Okay, similarly, for an object also, from the object creation to the object destruction. Okay, so how in Java we have created some objects, right? So that object will be destroyed by whom? Garbage collector, you might have heard, right? So that is the that from the object creation to the object destruction, that is the whole life cycle of the object. Similarly, in today's topic I will explain what is the bean life cycle and how the flow happens for the bean life cycle, and how IOC container call different life cycle activities, right? So for that, let us go through um, the theoretical things, then I will jump into the programmatical aspect. The bean life cycle is meant, or I can say it is managed by the IOC container completely. Okay, so IOC container is responsible for performing different activities of bean life cycle. That is why we can call the classes we are using as part of Spring framework, that we can call as Spring Bean. Okay, so let me explain the flow of the Spring Bean life cycle. Just understand. I'm going to explain one. I am going to show you one picture where you can observe flow, but you can only imagine this is the flow. But whenever I will explain the practical demonstration, then at that time I will explain, I will execute, and I will show you what is the actual flow of the bean life cycle. But for the time being, just observe that we are creating container is started, and the bean we are calling the get bean method, right? Bean instantiation happens. Okay, and after that the flow is dependency injected. Whatever the we have two types of dependencies, right? It may be a constructor, it may be a setter. All these dependencies are injected. First, what injection will happen? First, constructor injection will happen. Then, setter injection will happen. I think you might have known this. Okay. Then, just remember custom init method. What is the purpose of init method, and what is utility method, and what is the custom destroy method? I will explain these things. Okay. Just remember, once the bean instantiated, then dependency will be injected. Custom init method will be executed, then custom utility method will be executed, then followed by custom destroy method. This is the whole life cycle of the Spring Bean. Okay, okay, fine. Okay, so let me talk about what are the activities that is performed on Bean. There are basically two types of activities that is performed. One is post construction activities, and second one is pre-destruction activities. As I have told, life cycle means what? The life to death, creation of the object to destruction of the object. Okay. Post construction activity. Post construction activity means what? I can say, whenever we are starting, we are creating our object in Spring Bean, right? We are creating our object. Then on top of the, while during the creation of the object, we are performing some sorts of activities, right? Let me take one example here. For example, we have an employee class. We are creating the employee object. On top employee object, we are calling the get salary of the employee. Okay, that method we are calling on top of the object, right? The activity we are performing on the top of the object is nothing but post construction activities, right? Okay, that is the post construction activities. I think you have understood that. Okay, let me come into the pre destruction activities. Before the object is going to die, some sort of activities we need to perform. Let me take one example. uh, I can say, uh, we have let me go to my id, and I will explain what should be the post construction activity and what should be the pre destruction activity. Let me consider these things. I have a class called Oracle connection to test the connection, right? What we are doing, you might have heard the JDBC connection, right? In order to persist, in order to retrieve some data from the database, what we need to do here is, like, first of all, we need to create the connection, right? We need to get the connection, we need to create the statement, execute the statement, and then fire that query. Okay, all these things, all these stops we need to do. Okay, we are creating first getting the connection. Okay, this is for every, this is the one scenario I have explained. Okay, I have written. Let's take another example, like, we want some other activities for I mean some database operation we need to perform. In that case, what we are going to do here is, like, again we need to one connection object we need, and again statement object, and we will execute our query and we will get the result. For example, we are trying to do perform 5 database operation. In that case, 5 connection object we are going to create, is not it? Rather, creating 5 connection object, what we can do, that connection object we can write as part of our initialization part. Okay, that is where bin that is where bin life cycle comes into picture. Okay, so what we can do, rather writing all these connection multiple times, the code is being duplicated, right? If we are going to perform 5 operation of database operation, then 5 times we have to create the connection, we have to create the statement and fire the queries. All these things we need to do. So here, initialization, if you perform at single short time and we'll use that then we are only one time will create our connection, is not it? Okay, that is one concept I have explained. Okay, another thing is, here, after all the things, like, all the database operation performed, then what, this is the object, we are creating the object, we are performing some operation. This is the post construction activities. What we have done, connection statement, all these are post construction activities we are doing, calling these methods, creating, getting the connection, all these. Okay, and finally what we are doing, we are closing the statement and closing the connection object, right? That means what, we are cleaning, we are cleanup activity we are doing here. This, before the object is going to die, what we want to perform some cleanup activity, right? This is the pre-destruction activity we can think of. As of now we can think of, this is the pre-destruction logic. Okay, I think you have understood post construction and pre-destruction activities. What should be the post construction activities and what should be the pre-destruction activities, right? Okay, now, uh, okay. So why do we need bin life cycle? Like, for pre-destruction and post construction activities we need bin cycle. Okay, I will explain all these. Okay, in order to work with spring bin life cycle, there are multiple ways are there. I can say basically 3 ways are there to work with the spring bin life cycle. uh, there are 3 ways to work with bin life cycle. One is configuration approach, second one is programmatic approach, and third one is annotation driven approach. Okay, so I will explain one by one. Okay, through the id, let me write the code, and I will explain configuration approach first. Okay, before that, let me write one scenario. Okay, what is the problem we are going to get, then for what purpose we should go for spring bin lifecycle methods. Okay, okay, let me write one class. Let me simple class. Let me take uh, calculator class. I want one calculator class. Here what I will do, I will declare simple to demonstration purpose. I will declare private int uh, I j, and what I want the sum. Okay, these three things. Oh, this is one. Okay, these three things I want. Okay, what I'll do, I will take two instance variable like I and j, and I just wanted to calculate the sum of the two integer I and j. So through the spring bean, what how we will do that? Let me do constructor injection. Let me perform the injection one property via constructor and one property via uh, setter. Okay, for that what I will do, let me first create the constructor using fields. Okay, I want I should be injected via constructor. Okay, this is the this is what I want. Okay, then next I want to inject uh, value j via setup. Okay, j is also done. And what I want generate getter. I want the getter method to get the sum through the get method, right? I hope this is clear. This is the I variable I am injecting through via like I have created the constructor, and I have the setter method for the j variable, and get some method which will return the sum of this. Okay, let me write. This is the constructor, right? While creating the object, we will call this constructor, right? So while creating the object, I just want to perform one more thing here, right? This dot sum is equal to this dot I plus this dot j. This is the activity I want to perform. Okay, so what I want, I have two object and one sum. I have two integer and sum I want to calculate. Okay, me for that, let me create the application context file. Okay, so here what I have already explained this bean concept, right? How the configuration we need to do, that I have already explained, right? Bean id is equal to, now let the bean id calculator, and class is, what is that? Com dot workers it dot bean life cycle dot, what is it, calculator. Okay, this is the bean. Okay, fine. Then what I want constructor I value should be injected via constructor. So I will write value is equal to I, for example, I value is 10. I have injected via constructor. Then I want this j value. This is the property name is j, that I want, that needs to be injected via setter. Okay, value is equal to 30. Okay, this is the application context class I have written, where I am injecting the I value via constructor to the calculator class, and j value via setter. Okay, let me write the test class for this. Test calculator. Okay, I need main method here. Okay, okay. So application application context is equals to new class path xml application context, right? Okay, so what we will pass here is we are creating the object, right? Application context container. Then what I will pass here is application hyphen context dot xml. Okay, this is the things we want to pass. Okay, so next what we will do, we will call the getBean method on the context object, right? So application context dot getBean. So we'll call application context dot getBean of what? GetBean of calculator, the bean id. Okay, bean id is calculator, and the class is calculator dot class. Okay, this is the things I just want, and I will hold this. Okay, fine. So now what I'll do, I will call this sysout sum is equals to, I'll call this method. Okay, calculator dot get sum method I want to call. Okay, just save this. Let me run this. What is the what you are expecting, that what is the result it should get? We have said that value I value as 10 and I value is 30, right? If we run, the sum will get, right? 30 plus 10 plus 30 is equal to 40. The sum should be 40, right? Hey, what happened? We got 10. How? We have provided the value is I value is 10, j value is 30, but what we are getting is, the result is sum is 10. Why? What is the issue here is, because what we are doing in the calculator class, we are just adding I and j value inside the constructor, right? whenever the whenever the IOC container will start, and the instantiation will happen, right, of the object, at that time we are providing the I value here, which is 10. This is assigned, and this dot j, this value is not yet injected, that is injected by setup. I told this will be executed via first execution for constructor and second execution for setup. Okay, we are getting the sum is 10 plus 0, that is 10. That is why we are getting 10. But this is not meeting our expectation, right? That this is not meeting our business logic, right? But what we want 40 as a result, right? Before before performing the utility method, this is the utility method. Before utility method executes, we want to perform some sort of whenever the object got created, we don't want these things to be happen, right? We want whenever all the instantiation, all the injection completed, then only our spring should perform some our spring should perform, what is that, post construction logic, right? Post construction activity. That is where spring bean lifecycle comes into picture. That how we can achieve that. Okay, I have already told as part of JDBC connection, the connection part we need to provide as part of post construction activities, right? So here what we can do, we can write public void init. This method init name is by default this is the standard name. This name we can provide as part of like anything we can do. This is init I have 10, but anything you can do, you can write, right? Okay, let me whatever the activity we are doing, the post construction activity, that I don't need to be done as part of here. That part I have provided here. Okay, once the constructor call happens and setter completed, then this init method should execute. Okay, now I am explaining the XML configuration approach, right? Once this is done, then I will explain the how to work with the programmatic approach, then annotation approach I will explain. Okay, please focus. Okay, so what I have done here is, in order to uh, perform the post construction activity, all these things, whatever the things we want after the object creation, that part I have provided as part of init, right? Okay, and all the cleanup activity, public void for the cleanup activity I have mentioned destroy. Okay, I have written one destroy method. This is the standard, but any name you can provide. Okay, so what I want to do here is this dot, I just wanted to uh, destroy everything, right? Before the object destroyed, I just want to make sure the value should be 0. Okay, this dot j is equal to 0, and this dot sum is equal to 0. I just want to perform this. Okay, including this one. Okay, I have done this. Okay, once I have written that, what let me run this. Let me run. I will tell what will happen. Though I have written init method and destroy method, what is going to execute? Okay, let me run this. I have written all these, but I am getting 0 because I have removed this logic and I have written here this, but this should 10 and 30, we should get 40, but we are getting 0. Why? Then this method should be called. Who will call this init method? Init method should be called by IOC container, because IOC container is the one who will take care of our object creation to management of the life cycle of the bean object, right? So somewhere we need to specify so that IOC container will detect these are the activities I need to perform as part of post construct and as part of destroy method, pre-destruction. Okay, for that, Spring provided some init method, right? Init method is equal to, what is the method name? Method name we have provided init, right? If you are providing any different name as part of here, I have provided init, so I have written here init. If you are providing any different name, then you can specify some other name. Okay, let me run that. Now we are getting some. This is what we want, right? So whenever you want some post construction activities should be performed before, like after the injection, and then that post construction activities you should put inside your custom init method. Okay, and the cleanup activities, closing the connection, closing the statement, all these you should put inside the destroy. Okay, I have for that what we need to do, we need to provide destroy method. Destroy method, that is name is destroy. Okay, so let me save it, let me run. For that, okay, let me provide one statement here so that it is executing or not, how we will know. Okay, destroy method. Okay, okay, destroy method. Okay, we have run this. After running, we saw that we are getting the result is 40, but this destroy method is not executing, right? Though we have provided in the application context destroy method is destroy, we are not getting the output, like it is not executing the destroy method. Why? So for that, what we need to do here is we need to close our this one. What we can do, we can write configurable application context. These things import. We can make our class this one configurable application context. Then in order to run that application context, then close method we have to call. The close method that is not available as part of application context interface. So what I have done is I have I have taken the configurable application context, right? In this is the, let me go inside that. This configurable application context, this interface contains all these close method. Okay, let me search it. This application configurable application context extends from application context. Instead of application context does not contain the close method. Okay, so I have what I have done, I have taken the sub interface of that, right? So let me now search the close method, close in this. Okay, okay, yeah, I got that. So we have the void close, this close method. Okay, that is why I have to take the implementation of that one, configurable application context. Then only we can call the close method, right? Okay, and another way I will also tell, that is register. Okay, yeah, this is the register shutdown hook. This is also different ways are there to close the container before. This is the what does the meaning of close? Close means we are trying to close the IOC container before shutdown this close IOC container. The destroy method should execute, right? This is the way, this is the one way we can do by taking configurable application context, right? Let me see, and let me run that. Okay, destroy method is called. Okay, and what is another way I can say? Let me comment that, and application context dot what is that method name? Register shutdown hook. This is the another way to shut down this IOC container. Before shut down this, that will call the destroy method. You see, destroy method is called. Okay, now you understood what is the purpose of init method, what is the purpose of destroy method, right? Now one more, though I have explained what is the flow of the Spring Bean whenever the container start, what are the bean life cycle it is executing, that I have not shown. Okay, though I have demonstrated, let me show that one as well. Okay, let me go to the calculator class, and let me copy this line. Okay, first I have told the constructor will execute, right? Then let me write constructor. Okay, let me number it, number one, first one constructor, then setter method, setter method is number two, After the instantiation object is created, then it will execute first constructor, then setter, then what is that, init or utility, init method. Okay, then init method. Okay, this is third one, third init method. Okay, I'm just writing 1 2 3 so that you can track the flow how it is happening. Before returning sum, what I can do, I can do this is fourth one, utility method. Okay, and this is the destroy method, and let me write fifth one. Fifth one is this one. Okay, I have numbered all this. Let me run that to track the flow. You can see constructor method, first method is constructor method is executed. Okay, constructor is executed, then setter method is executed, then the init method is called where we have provided our post construction logic, then our utility method is called, that utility method is executed, and we got the result. Then before closing the container, it is executing the destroy method. This is the fifth. I think you got the flow. Okay, what is the bin life cycle? If someone will ask, then you can easily explain all these things, right? I have explained through the simple example, but and I have told the connection things, right? That also you can implement as your own. I have already shown that part, right? Okay. This is the XML approach. That is the configuration approach I have told. Okay. Now let me explain the how we same thing, same operation we can perform through what is that, programmatic approach. Okay, so in order to work with the programmatic approach, there are two interface. Okay, that there are two interface we need to implements initializing bin, initializing bin. This is the one method or one interface, and another one is disposal. Okay, uh, dispo disposal bin. Okay, this is the two things I have written, right? For the timing, let me comment this init and this one. Okay, let me comment source and block comment. Okay, okay. Mm, okay, fine. Whenever we will implement the initializing bin and disposal bin, then you need to override, well, you need to override this after property set and destroy method. After property set is nothing but init method, which we have done, and destroy method, destroy method, what we are doing as part of these things. And let me remove that source, remove block comment, and okay, okay. Let me write whatever the things we are writing here. Let me put over here destroy method d, then v. Okay, and this init method, whatever we have before, let me comment simply these two things. Okay, and here, okay, control A, control shift F. Okay, fine. Okay, what I have done is, like, whatever the class we have, calculator class, I have implemented two interfaces, initializing bin and disposal bins. Whenever we are implementing these two interface, we have to override these two methods that is there as part of these two interface. What we are doing, this is the programmatic approach. We no need to configure this configuration approach, right? For that, so we can we can remove this init and destroy method whatever we have configured, right? Okay, this is done. Okay, let me run this. The same thing we are getting or not, right? This is the programmatic approach. This is easy, straightforward. Whenever you understood one configuration approach, then any approach you will take, that is going to be easier for you. Okay, this is the programmatic approach I have explained. Only implement two interface, initializing bin and disposal bin. Two interface we have, that implement and override the method after property set and destroy method. Destroy method, right? After property set, that is nothing but init method. Whatever the post construction activities you want, just provide write all these things there, and whatever the cleaning activity you want, the provide inside the destroy method. Okay, this is the two things I have explained. One is the configuration approach, another programmatic approach. Okay, now it's the time to discuss about the annotation driven approach. Okay, though in the spring series I have not covered annotation things, but for the life cycle sake of point of view, um, let me explain the annotation approach as well. Okay, so for that what you need to do here is, you no need to implement all these things. What you can do, okay, I am removing override, so that this will be okay. uh, okay, let me copy these two things on this, and okay, so what we can do, we are going to annotate this. What we are going to annotate, we are going to annotate, this is in it I have, what I have told, this is the post construction activities, right? So the annotation is something like post construction, post construct. Okay, post construct, that is inside the java x dot annotation dot post and java x dot annotation package. Okay, and destroy method is nothing but inside what, uh no sorry, pre, what I told, pre destroy. Okay, pre-destroy, this is the two things you need to annotate, right? And nothing you need to do. Okay, so now let's run this. Construction, constructor, setter, then utility method. Constructor method, setter method, utility method. Okay, okay, so here, so once we annotate these two things, we have got constructor and setter, right? One catch point is here. We constructor method execute, constructor executed, setter executed, then we have seen utility and some we are getting 0, but this init and destroy method not executed. Though we have annotated post constructor and this, what we need to do here is, we need to somewhere, uh, we need to tell to the ISC container that we have annotated our custom init method and destroy method. Please execute this as part of post construct and pre-destroy. Okay, that we need to indicate to the ISC container, right? So that is nothing but a class bin. Okay, bin bin is equals to, what is that, bin, okay, okay. So we need to provide that bin. This is the class common annotation bin post processor. Common annotation bin post processor. This is the things we need to provide. Okay. Now let me run this. Once we provided, then IOC container detected these are the things the developer has provided, right? So I need to run the init method and the destroy method. Okay. Now we are getting the result as expected, right? Okay, these are the things we need to take care while working with bin lifecycle method. I have explained in this method configuration approach. I have explained programmatic approach. I have explained and the annotation driven approach also I have explained. Now, okay. So theoretical things I have explained here. Init method. What we have to do. Uh, we have to provide our init method. This is the theoretical things I have already demonstrated. Whoever want the copy, just for them, I am showing all these I have documented here. So if anyone wants, he or she can take away from it. Okay. Programmatic approach is initializing bin and disposal bin. We have override and doesn't even approach. Okay. Thank you.